we're running a little bit hot tonight. I can barely see the road from the heat coming on. Reach down.
Just had to run a couple of little errands, and now that that's done, we'll go for a short ride, which then will permit me to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And that is because I've had numerous inquiries from numerous places by many different people in regards to, well, getting a second bike and kind of graduating from a smaller beginner bike to a more advanced bike, or a bike that, you know, people are now planning on keeping for a longer period of time. So, good afternoon, it's Rob from It's a Dyer Thing again. Thank you very much for tuning into my video. And if this subject shows some interest to you, well, you are more than welcome to comment, and I'll definitely get back to you. So, it is going to be a somewhat controversial subject. I know many out there do talk about this a lot, and what I'm going to talk about today is about what do I do for my second bike now if I want to go into Yamaha and upgrade, right? Whatever you have before, I'm talking about what I want to go into now. So two bikes are always the main subject, which would be the MT-07 or the MT-09. Well, like I said, it is going to be controversial. I say go straight to the MT-09. Now, before you start panicking and getting out of control on this and sending me hate mail, hear me out. Let's compare real quick bike for bike, all right? So, both weigh virtually the same amount of weight when I'm talking about wet weight. So, the MT-07 is at 405 pounds, give or take, and the MT-09 is at 425 pounds. So, 20 pounds difference in wet weight. Now, in regards to length and all that, there are actually, I think there's maybe 1 inch difference. In regards to height, seat height, again, we're talking about just a little over 1 inch difference. So 1 inch by 1 inch by 20 pounds difference between the two. That's a no big deal. That's nothing, literally. So, as for bike, they're pretty much identical. Now, when it comes to power-wise, and yes, this is where it gets very controversial, that many people say, well, the MT-09, it's a monster of a bike, and it does wheelies all over the place, and you're going to kill yourself. You need to be an expert rider, and otherwise, it's no good. You can't do that. You have to go with something much smaller. So, no, not necessarily, because the MT-09 and FZ-09, okay, bear with me, for the newer ones, 2017, all right? So, offer something that no other MT class has, which is selectable traction control and selectable power band ratio, so, or power band throttle command. So, those two things alone make the MT-09 actually, I say, a superior bike and a preferable bike for a second bike purchase. The MT-07 or FZ-07 is actually known in the European market as a beginner bike already. So, why would you want to go from a beginner bike to another beginner bike? I can assure you, you'll get bored real fast. So, being said that, if you're buying a brand new bike and have never had a bike, absolutely I would say go with the MT-07 because it is super docile, very controllable, and has enough power for low-end speed takeoff as much as it does for highway use and whatnot like that. But if you already have a beginner bike, you're gonna get bored. So I would tell you to definitely go with an MT-09 or FZ09 2017 and up as your second bike. Again, the traction control allows you to adjust how much traction you always want to put to the ground. So if you don't want this bike to be a wheelie bike, like by means at all, then you put traction control setting number 2. The second there is any kind of difference between speed from the front wheel to the back wheel, the throttle is cut. So the power's got dropped down. You'll never lift the front end, ever, I promise. You put traction control setting number 1, then yes, you will get some lift, but you won't get wheel spin. And then again, the same thing, you won't fishtail or stuff like that. It will stop it down. So you're not going to accidentally flip yourself upwards, but you can do a wheelie. Then if you take the traction control off, well, now you've turned it into an all-out hooligan bike. That again, everybody controls their own destiny and their own riding style. You want to be an idiot? Then you ride like an idiot. You ain't going to ride for long. Same thing when it comes with the throttle management. So you got mode A, mode standard, and mode B. So mode B is touring. It's super easy on the throttle, right? It's not jerky, it's not twitchy, it's smooth. Standard, well, it's pretty much the best of both worlds. And then you got mode A, which actually I never use, and that is kind of like track mode, where it's super hypersensitive. Again, I never use it. Mostly I am on B because I like the smoothness when I'm out cruising around. If I want to be a bit of a hooligan and want to play, then I'll put it on standard. So, all in all, you get the bike to setting throttle mode B with a traction control 2. This bike has become the most docile, most user-friendly, safest bike that you can get. Again, bear in mind that you're not going to full out throttle and put yourself into jeopardy like that, but heck, you can do that on 125cc too. You can equally hurt yourself regardless on any kind of size engine. So, common sense, right? Anyways, other than that, what's this guy doing here, buddy? Hello. I personally say the MT-09 is by far a better bike, just for the fact that you can control it. It's unfortunately had its bad reputation, but that's because it was used by people who don't really know how to use the settings properly, right? And they would have equally got themselves as much into trouble if it was with their BMX. So, I personally think it's a fantastic bike. And don't get me wrong, the FZ07 or MT-07 as well is fantastic. But long term, if you're looking for something long term, and again, these are pretty big investments, I'd say go with a 9. And that's my saying. Again, I said, it's a controversial subject, but think about it, honestly. Do the reading, do the research, and I think you'll probably agree with me that, yeah, I'm right. Of course I am. I've been riding for 35 years, so I started at 8 years old, and yeah, I love my 9. I wouldn't even go with the 10. The 10's, there's nothing that the MT-10 or FZ-10 offers that the MT-09 doesn't. MT-09 actually, I find, has got quite more accessories, so you got more available options for you. You have, the MT-09 is kind of like a blank canvas where you can do exactly what you want with it, the way you want. There's so much to personalize, and the bike is so versatile. It's great. So.
Yeah.